New York. Another show that's on the air is called Outtakes with Fiore. Fiore Mastracci is a friend of mine. He's in Pittsburgh. He has a movie review show there that he has famous celebrities on from time to time. I've worked with him several times on my own show I used to host in Pittsburgh for a number of years, where we've had Anthony Hopkins on the show, we had Mel Gibson on the show. He takes you behind the scenes of different movies and motion pictures, and that's something that we felt that we could bring here. So he syndicates his program here to Channel 98, CSMTV. And he is a great guy. Another show that we do is the National Lampoon Network. This network is owned by the same people that produce Broadway video. They produce the Conan O'Brien Show, Saturday Night Live. This is a division now of who puts this program together, and we have it here on Channel 98. This is one of my favorite areas of programming on Channel 98 CSMTV, the student originals. Now, these are programs that I'm hoping that we can start here. Feature-length films, really, that were made by myself along with other students. I was kind of the executive producer, while they were the director and the actors. Some of the movies we put together was fabulous. Jared Shaw, who's pictured in this photo, is now in Los Angeles producing his own movie called Bigfoot. He's worked on numerous motion pictures in the past. And the funny thing about this movie is it's a comedy about making a movie. And we came up with the idea, he came up with the idea completely, putting the project together based on all the idiocies and problems you would have in just doing a simple movie. You think it's pretty easy. Somebody once told me they think it takes 2 hours to make a 2-hour movie, and they couldn't be further from the truth. Anybody that works basketball on CSMTV knows how complicated and what an intricate web it is and trying to get these things on the air. But that was the fabulous, and it won some awards, and it gave him an opportunity to direct a feature-length motion picture. Another movie that's on CSMTV Channel 98 is called The Middle Toe of the Right Foot. Kind of an odd title. It was my thesis that I did at California University before moving on. It was a winner of the Cineview Film and Video Festival in Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida for Best Director. Cheap applause. Best no-budget production, best student production. So this is some of the other kind of programming we have here. And also, there are two other ones. The Easy Buck, which is a screwball comedy as a throwback. Anybody ever remember the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? Where you have a huge, large cast, Jonathan Winters and all the legendary actors from yesteryear. This was written again by Jared Shaw, who did fabulous. It's a kidnapping gone wrong, and it's now airing on CSMTV. Another student movie, Devil's Dandruff. This is a throwback to 80s cop movies from the 80s. The gentleman in the middle would be your Mel Gibson character. The guy on the right would be your Jackie Chan character / Arnold Schwarzenegger character. And of course you have the rookie cop. And it's a throwback to 80s cop dramas. All of these motion pictures that I have shown to you have won awards and have been created by students for students. And that's some of the energy I'm hoping to bring here, that we can get students involved into making major motion pictures. Another program that we have on Channel 98, The Midnight Monster Hop. This is a personal favorite of mine because I've worked in the horror industry for some years. I worked on the movie Silence of the Lambs and a lot of other different motion pictures in history that are horror related. And it's a popcorn Friday night, Saturday night at midnight show where we basically take the concept of hosting monster movies. Night of the Living Dead, the old public domain, we call them classic, but they're public domain. There's a reason they're public domain. They're really bad, cheesy monster movies, but they're good just to eat popcorn and watch. This one is originated from Pittsburgh, and it's hosted by Gravely and Griselda from a place called Castle Blood. Now, I have to tell you something. Castle Blood really does exist. It's in Pittsburgh, PA. It's a real castle, and they host monster movies from this castle. So it was a nice tie-in. Yes, it does exist. You can Google it. if you don't believe me. But that's another show that we're also airing here on CSMTV. And finally, the one that I'm proud of, In Neon. In Neon is what we call a college soap opera. It's something I had shot with students. It was 15 episodes long, each episode an hour, except for the first episode, which was an hour-and-a-half premiere. And this was done to give experience to students to generate a weekly television show. Can they do, well, I'm sorry, not weekly. This was more like monthly, because it was really 1 hour movie a month that we would shoot together with multiple casts. Can they do it? And there was a point we all wanted to kill each other. There was a point we all did not get along. But that's the family of working together on a project, because I even took him by the hand and said, you know, when this is all over and done with, all you'll remember are the good times. You won't remember the bad times. I'm promising you this. And it's happened. This particular student drama was also nominated for an Emmy in the end, and it won 13 Telly Awards, which are the same statuettes that are made by the Oscars. So it was a worthwhile production, and the reason we're airing it here on CSMTV is to just really test the waters with people around here so students can see what we're planning on doing here. If they watch the show, they can get a feel like, you know, I could shoot something like that, which is the reason we do the show immediately following it, the commentary show, where we sit down, me as the director, and one of our actors every episode and explain how we put this soap opera together. So it's a lot of fun. Plus, there's also a documentary we put together on behind the scenes. It's an hour-long show you might see on CSMTV from time to time to explain how each shot was created, how it was all put together, and things of that nature. But in addition to all of this syndicated programming, we've also done programs here at the college. Jeff Chaputra is in the robotics department. He said, you know what, there's a robotics competition we have here on campus. Can you put that on TV? Absolutely. So we made a documentary of the robotics competition that took place earlier this year. By the same token, Karen Smith-Hupp and Teresa Johnson also told us about Brooks Robinson. Now, I'm not from the area, you'll have to forgive me. I said, who's Brooks Robinson? They said, who's Brooks Robinson? And then they threw things at me. So I said, okay, we'll do something. And I know he owns the Blue Crabs now. So we wanted to do something on reflection on his past and his involvement with the Blue Crabs now. So we're putting together a special that will air periodically on CSMTV on Brooks Robinson. And also, Rex Bishop is a professor here on campus. He told me of a movie called, or a gentleman named Dummy Hoy, who was a deaf baseball player in the area. And there was a production we'd like to get on Channel 98 as well. So there's a lot of different programs being generated that are on Channel 98 that you people with a satellite dish, I'm sorry to say, you just aren't going to see. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to kind of show you tonight some of the things we do here. One of the other things I want to reflect on is what we're doing, not just from the past, but what we're going to be doing in the future. And CSMTV expanded from Comcast cable to MetroCast cable, where it's on 8 hours a day. We share a channel down there with 2 other colleges, who shall remain nameless. And we each get 8 hours a day to put all our programming on there. And the good thing is, during our 8-hour block, we're on all the time. We always have something going on down there, so that's a nice plus. So we have MetroCast cable, the addition of that, and we also have Comcast cable, where we've expanded both of these networks, both of these cable companies, from 0 time. Is that correct? We barely had anything on the air. So now we have things on Comcast cable 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day of original programming, and 8 hours a day, which we're maxed out at MetroCast cable in St. Mary's County. But what we'd like to do is be on 24 hours a day. Now, technically in La Plata or in Charles County, we are in 24 hours a day. From 4 in the afternoon till 4 in the morning, they'll be programming on Channel 98. And then from 4 in the morning, I think, till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we have what we call the CSMTV Community Calendar, which is where we run some announcements and local happenings. But we want to be on 24 hours a day. So one of the things we're going to do is a partnership with MTV's U Network. And together, we're going to become a 24-hour-a-day channel CSMTV on Channel 98. And what MTVU is, it's broadcast 24 hours a day. It's available to 750 colleges and universities across the country, and it broadcasts exclusive content dedicated to the aspects of college life, including college news, college sports, college videos, movie review shows, things that are geared toward that demographic. And that's really what all the networks nowadays are targeting themselves toward, are specific demographics. ESPN, people that like sports. Spike, toward men. Hallmark, toward women. Comedy, if you want some laughs, you turn on the Comedy Central. You want music videos, you turn on MTV. Well, what this is going to hopefully do is, when we put it together with CSMTV Channel 98, we're going to have a complete network, 24 hours a day, with our programming, syndicated programming, all geared for the college student. And that way, you'll see specific changes, specifically in La Plata, Waldorf, and Charles County. Now, you won't really get to see those changes in Leonardtown or St. Mary's County, because we do share the channel with 2 other colleges. But we hope in some way, shape, or form we can expand that to the MetroCast company as well. That's our plan, that's our hopes. Now, of course, with this comes the development of several things. Over the next few months, you're going to see massive changes to our website. That will be an integral cog in for you and for those out there wanting to learn about things going on at CSMTV. So massive changes are in place there. Somebody had said to me, where are all the colleges located? Even some people had called in our viewer voicemail saying, we're not familiar with where all the campuses are located. Well, just so everybody understands, this is the Leonardtown campus here, this is La Plata here, this is the Waldorf campus, and this is the Prince Frederick campus. Now, for the 2 main well, I don't want to say main, that's incorrect, but for 2 of the campuses, it being La Plata and Leonardtown, the connection is fairly well, because we have MetroCast cable here, we have Comcast cable here, and even in the Waldorf area. Unfortunately, right now, the only enemy that we have is this separated water right here, or else we would probably carry right into Prince Frederick. But going over to Prince Frederick, we have to go over the water and to the college. We're still a little bit a ways from figuring out how to deal with that, but it will become a reality, hopefully someday. And once it's all done, we're hoping to take care of all of the area, anything south of DC. But that's how the changes are going to be incorporated on that map. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, Mary Ann Lair is here tonight. She is the department chair that has really taken the ball on everything in devising a curriculum for television broadcasting here on this campus. And once that's put into place and we get students involved and see how much not only easy it is, but fun it is in creating television programming, it's going to be a real wonder to observe. But of course, we do need a studio. And this, what you're looking at here, is a very rough schematic of how the TV studio is going to look someday at the Leonardtown campus. You know, and this is down in Leonardtown here, in this location here, and it's in this building, Building A. All right, in the basement, where the old, what was the name of that center that we took over? What is it? The testing center? It was a testing center that they've graciously given us some space to take over down there and build the studio. And the studio will be able to create, you know, when you looked at that schematic, you had a sports show, maybe a president's talk show, a monster movie show. We could do anything we want. So there's a lot of possibilities for the television station. But not leaving La Plata out of the mix, one of the things I was hoping that we could do was get a television truck to cover these games. Now, the games you observe on the air now are all done in post-production. And we wanted to be able to do them live to tape with that live from the home of the Hawks, you know. So they're done at this building on La Plata, and that for people at home and for people here who are not really following everything that goes on with TV here, that would be on this campus, the La Plata campus. Now, it's all made possible through this. This is a portable switcher system we've ordered that we're going to keep down here in the gymnasium area so we can put the games on the air live. We'll be able to do more games. We'll be able to keep Perry really, really busy with all of the games we get on the air because now it's like, well, instead of one a month, we'll do one a week. Maybe two a week. And Perry's going to be like, I hate you, Sprouse. So, but this will give us more of an opportunity to do these games. So eventually, when you take that portable switcher system and put it with this is an overhead look of how we're going to be covering these games. In this area, which is an old storage room, that'll be converted during the game into a control room for television. The cameras will be put out on the floor to cover the games for basketball and things of that nature. And all of them will run back in here through cables of where the production is directed back here. Yeah, Jerome, for anybody at home, Jerome Newberry, who's one of our announcers, is raising his hand. Jerome, yes.
I was just wondering, do we get our own little announcing booth, or do we still have to sit on the bleachers?
You want bottled water next.
Yes, I do. I want service.
We're working on that. We'll make a little area just for you. We'll call it Jerome's Little Haven, and we'll say LIL, Lil Haven. Okay, we'll work on that. But that's how we can put these two things together. We can cover basketball games live to tape, and as you know, we did some games this year for the men and the women. Looking back. But one good thing is that gives us the opportunity to do other sporting events as well. We can do baseball, golf, soccer, any sport that's played here. But just so you know, if there are any coaches in the audience, that doesn't mean we will do them. That means we can do them. Okay? Because I know whenever I say something like this, coaches' eyes is like dollar signs. They're like, ooh, really? Me? You're going to cover my team? Yes, we can. Doesn't mean we have to get the students and the personnel in place. Marianne Layer and I have to work on the curriculum. We have to get everything in place so the students know how to do the TV stuff so we can get them into the position that they know what they're doing. Okay? So we'll get to that point. I promise. Okay, so let's take a look back at some of the things we've done and one of the reasons we're here tonight. That's some of the things that we're going to be doing. But one of the reasons we're here tonight is to reward those who have worked with us over the course of the last year. And that's our announcers. There are 6 of them, and they have done an amazing job. And when I say that, I mean, this is not a class to them. This is a real love of the art. And without them, you wouldn't have gotten any basketball games. Before tonight started, you saw some of the basketball games playing on the air here in the back of the room on the Jumbotron screens. And tonight, we will show you some of our announcers at their best with an upcoming, I hear chuckles in the audience, blooper reel featuring their best moments. Somebody's clapping. I couldn't see what it was, but that makes me think twice because I see the president here and my bosses, the deans here, and they're going to say, they really act like that? Yeah. So it'll be something we can look at. We can look at it and laugh a little bit. We have done several games here this year, and these were all done by volunteers. No one got curricular credit for this. No one got any kind of appreciation for this, except me yelling at them, or shouting in their ear, or screaming at them, or a pat on the back. So I thought it was important tonight to have at least one evening televised, recognizing in front of some of the faculty, in front of some of the staff, administration, viewers at home, a little bit about our announcers and honor them because Lord knows it's high time. Our first announcer that we're going to recognize tonight is the color commentator for the Lady Hawks games. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerome Newberry. Come up, please. Jerome, you recommended that I use some kind of really inspiring music when you come up to the stage, so that's why I have brought you this. Should we say the benediction? I wanted to present you with this plaque because you have done a wonderful job over the course of the last year. Congratulations. Feel free to crucify me.
It's pretty nice. Okay. When I first actually from the first audition, I was like really jumbly, really nervous, and it just really caught me off guard. And the opportunity to do this, it was a great opportunity. I learned a lot of stuff. It was a great experience. When I first did my first game, there was so much dead air that you could barely tell that there was commentating there.
The first game?
Okay, maybe a couple after that as well. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was still a lot of fun. We had a great time. Like I said, it was a great experience because when you see commentators do it on TV, you look at it and it looks so easy. You know, they just go right away, and it's like, oh, I can do that. You know, you sit at home, you're like, oh, I can call that. You know, that was a breakaway, and then you get on there, it's like, oh. He has the ball. But it was definitely a great experience, and it's much better to actually get up there and do it. It's a complete different feeling than if you were to, say, learn it out of a textbook, because textbook doesn't teach you what to do when you mess up. Textbook doesn't teach you how to handle those nerves that you might face when you get up in front of a television. And well, what Eric told me to do is when I mess up or I make a mistake, just go with it or laugh it off, you know. And it actually made it a lot easier. And
I think I used the term that's so the audience can laugh with you.
Yeah, there you go.
And
so
not at you.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it was a great honor to actually have worked on CSMTV and to have done the basketball games, and I greatly appreciate.
It's just like you're announcing.
There we go. I greatly appreciate the opportunity that Eric presented me with. So thank you.
Thank you. Nice job. One thing I didn't get a chance to say was it does provide an opportunity for students to get the experience of applying what they've read or heard about or what they think they know into a real working atmosphere. That's one of the things that television is capable of doing. And I think Jerome has said it best tonight by saying, you know, there are times that there's a lot of dead air. You have to talk for 2 hours. 2 long friggin' hours. And you have to know the team. And it's difficult because sometimes, you know, you don't have the stats that you can, you know, you'll hear them rattle off stats about the player's Uncle Bob, who was the player for the NBA and blah, 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 blah in the professional sports. Here it's like, we don't even, one time we covered a team this year and the bus showed up 2 hours late, Rick? 2 hours late, and we didn't know who we were playing. No, we didn't even know the name of the team. We were like, hello and welcome to CSMTV basketball. Tonight the Hawks are taking on those guys. And it's like, and what you don't see is behind the scenes, people scrambling for notes and stuff, and like Josh and Sean and Dan and Jerome and Kyla and Grace all standing there all confident. But as soon as the camera isn't rolling, they're like, I don't understand what. Hi and welcome to the game. Tonight we're going to be playing blah, 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 and that goes on. It says, thank you for watching. Boy, I look horrible. And then they just go off, and then those are the things that we cover up. That's the things you're going to see tonight in the blooper reel. So, okay. The next recipient is one of our courtside commentators. Grace, You might want to bring the camera with you, or you might want to pass it off. The next one I want to recognize is Grace Jones. Don't you love Jerome's inspiring music?
I know.
It's like from above.
This should be playing not with my picture up here.
Grace, congratulations. You've done a wonderful job over the course of the last year,
This is nice.
and hope to continue that relationship.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you.
I should be on the Titanic now. Oh, that's short. It's all over now. Really, I didn't actually audition for this position. I kind of showed up looking for an interview. I was writing a story for my journalism class, and I was like, oh, this is neat. I like doing this. I did it in high school, so I showed up at Eric and ended up talking to him for 2 hours. Next thing you know, I'm in front of a camera. Really don't know how, but I ran into him in the hallway today, and I was debating coming today. I was like, I'm about as red as a lobster, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna put me on TV, and I might as well go with it. I've got a sunburn, so go ahead and stare. 4 peels. So, and you know,
We just thought you were shy.
it's
We
really
just
good
thought you
though,
were
because if
shy.
I'm blushing, you can't tell.
You know, your award, shucks.
Oh gosh. But anyways, Jerome was talking about the things you don't learn in textbooks, and one of them is how to cover up when you screw up. And you're gonna see me cursing a lot. I don't really look like the person to curse, but when you get up there and you say the wrong word 10 times, you really don't know what else to say. And it's a really great experience. And the only thing I'm gonna miss is I'm gonna graduate in January, and I'm not really gonna get the chance to grow with CSMTV. So I'm glad I was here in the beginning, and I'm glad I was here when it started, because I really think it can grow into something great, because Southern Maryland doesn't have this, and it's something they really need. So I hope you enjoy my horrible blooper reel. I hope it's not very long. Okay.
Yep. I have good news and bad news, I'll tell you.
Oh, jeez. And my guys is telling me later, like, watching the thing, and
Sort
I'm
of.
going,
A little bit, yeah.
oh, thank you. This is Eric, everyone. He loves to torture people. Okay. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for coming, I guess. All right.
Two things I wanted to tell Grace. I had an uncle. I had an uncle once that said to me, "There's no better way to learn how to swim than to get shoved into the deep end of the pool. You'll swim." So when Grace said she came for an interview, she literally did. She just came to see what was going on, and we hit it off. And she said she was kind of interested in doing that, and she auditioned, and she was dynamite. So. We really shoved you into the deep end of the pool, and I think you did a fabulous job. That's the good news. Actually, no, it's all good news when you look at it. The other good news is when you put these games together in post-production, you have to recycle tapes. And we didn't have the idea to do blooper reels until after Grace's first couple of games. So she got off lucky, and I searched, and I searched, and I searched. All of her bad stuff was destroyed. It was recycled. So, and there was a lot of times, I remember one specifically, she was doing a stand-up, and I'll see if I can do it for her. She was doing a stand-up. That's what you're doing when you're interviewing. I think it was that take right there. And whoever her camera person was, mouthed off at her, and she went, like that, kind of like a dog. And that was one of the things that were kind of cute, but we had to eliminate that, Grace, so sorry. Sean Cook, did he ever show up? Sean Cook is the color commentator for the men, for the Hawks basketball games. I got a text about 2 hours